त्रैविद्या माम सोमपः पूत पापा यज्ञेर ईष्ट्वा स्वर्गतिं प्रार्थयन्ते ते पुण्यम आसाद्य सुरेंद्र लोकम अश्रंति दिव्यान दिवी देव भोगान. Hello friends, this is the 20th shlok of the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and today we will understand this shlok in detail. So let's first go over its meaning. So the shlok says Traividya mam somapah puta papa, which means by the three learnings offering me som for drinking those who cleanse sins, yagyera ishtva swargatim prarthayante, which means through yagya pray to go to heaven by worshipping. Te punyam asadya surendra lokam, which means they receive virtue and go to the beautiful Indra lok. Ashranti divyan divi deva bhogan, which means enjoy in divine place the pleasures of devas. So here Shri Krishna is describing the limitations of the target that people put in front of them to attain the heaven. So he's going to talk about that in this shlok and also in the next shlok. So what he says over here in this shlok is that those people who learn the three knowledges, which is basically the three Vedas, the Rig Veda, the Samaveda, and the Yajurveda, and who cleanse their sins by performing yajna, they indeed attain the Indralok, and by Indralok he means over here to be the heaven. So when they make effort to attain the heaven, they attain it, and over there in the heaven they enjoy the enjoyments of the devas basically. So we all know that Indra basically is the king of all the devas, and so when one attains Indralok, you can pretty much understand that Indralok over here means heaven. So the people who study Vedas and who live a clean life, who do not perform any sins, they eventually attain the heaven. That's what Sri Krishna is saying over here. And in the next shlok, he's going to describe how it has its limitation. This sort of an attempt or this path that people take has its own limitations. But that we will discuss in the next shlok. Over here, what he is saying is that those people who study well, who are honest, and who basically are pure, they will attain heaven. Now, if one was to understand it superficially, then people can say that, okay, this heaven is going to be the same as what is shown in the TV serials, wherein you can see the heaven to be a place where there are pillars which are studded with different jewels, and in between in the assembly there are all these apsaras who are performing their dance over there, and everybody is sitting on the seat which is made up of gold. So people generally think of heaven to be like that, but that is a very inaccurate description of what actually the heaven is. Now, if you were to read the Vedas carefully, then you will see that Indra actually is a representation of our executive mind. And so when someone says that he has attained Indralok, then that basically means that a person is living in the executive mind in reality, if you were to understand it correctly. So how do we understand this? So you have to look at it like this. So in this world, when we are performing all our actions, there are our instincts, there are animal instincts are there, and then there is our executive mind. Executive mind is that wise mind which basically sort of keeps us disciplined. So if we have this rage coming inside us, or if we have some anger or some sort of bad emotions rising inside us, it's our executive mind which keeps us in control and says that, you know, relax, don't give in to this animal pressure that is going inside you. So that is what is Indra actually, that executive power, that discernment that we have, that wisdom that we have, that knowledge that we have to not act rashly but to act wisely. That is what is Indra. So a person who has developed the discipline in him to get over his animal instincts and have that capacity to get over those animal instincts and act in a wise manner, then he is basically living in Indralok. That is the true understanding of Indralok. If you were to read the Vedas and understand them carefully, you will realize that that is what Indra represents. Unfortunately, I don't have the time to really go through that, but you have to take it on like that. That Indra basically represents that. And so a person who has developed his executive mind and who is not giving in to his animal instincts, that person might still be attached to things. A lot of wise people, a lot of intelligent people, they are still attached to their things, but they still act in a wise manner. So a person who acts like that is Indra, and such a person can study very well. He can gain good education. He can become a doctor, engineer, an entrepreneur, a big artist, or a good investor, a good businessman, things like that he can become. And he can attain so many good things in life if he starts to act like that. And when he attains that, then basically he has attained a good life. He is enjoying his life. He has a caring family. He has a profession which is meaningful to him, which is doing good to people, and he might be living a very good life. And that good life is basically living in Indralok, enjoying the fruits of living in Indralok. So if you are living with a very caring family, a very good wife, a very healthy children, and you have good relationship with your parents, and you have a good profession which is meaningful to you, through which you are helping others and which provides you good compensation for that, then that life is a very beautiful life. It's a beautiful life that you're living over there, right? So that is what actually is to live in heaven. That is what is actually to live in the Indralok. So a person can attain that. And those people who think that heaven is something you go up there, and over there are all these apsaras who are dancing, and there is golden chairs, and there are jewels over here, and people are drinking som juice and things like that. That's all symbols. That is all symbols to show this situation of life. Living a life like that is in itself very fulfilling life and a good life. So people can attain that, and people do attain it if they were to be disciplined in life and not given to their animal instincts. If you give in to your animal instincts, then you are living the life of asuras. If you are not giving into your animal instincts, you are living a good life, honest, good life with good values, and you will still become prosperous that way, and you will attain the Indralok that way also. So that is what Sri Krishna is describing over here as people attaining Indralok. Now, what are the limitations of this? That we will see in the next shlok. So I hope that I have explained this shlok well to you. With that, I'll close this video. I will see you all in the next video. Take care.